guys, this is a video for your 3 branches of government packet, okay? And it is that red booklet that I have made. Now, the booklet is for you to decorate in a way that represents what you have learned. So you're not going to decorate it at first. You're going to get all of the information that you can and then decorate it to show what you have learned, okay? So we're probably not gonna have things like, oh, let me draw a picture of this polar bear, or a picture at me with my mom at the supermarket. Those have nothing to do with the subject. So you want to make sure that you're drawing a picture that represents the information that you have gained, okay? And the first thing that you're going to find when you open this booklet is this page. And with this, there is no right or wrong. You don't have to look anything up. You write the honest truth. And we're not even looking for full sentences. We're looking for more of thoughts and ideas. And we know that in class, whenever it's a thought or an idea, we list it by bullet point to show this is not a full thought. This is just an idea. And on the first section, it says, what do we know about the government? You're going to write anything that you know about the government, even if you're not sure if it's correct, even if it's just something you thought of, something you heard, you're going to write it down. You can have 2, 3, 4, 80 million things. Maybe you know a lot. On this side, it says, what would you like to know about the government? So if you have any questions on maybe the power of the president, how do we make the laws, who decides what, you put those questions here. Okay, and before we begin, 3 branches of government. There are 1, 2, and 3. So when we think of the government, we often think of the president. We think, oh, the president can do this, he can do that. But in reality, there's a lot of components in the branches of government. Okay, we have the people who make the laws, we have the people who uphold the laws, and the ones that approve the laws, okay? And a lot of different, there's money, there's all sorts of things, but one step at a time we'll learn this, okay? So when you think of a school, you always think of the principal, the teachers, and then the support staff, which is, you know, people who do tutoring, the custodians, anyone who helps the teachers and the principal. We all need one another. Without teachers, you can't have a principal. Without teachers, you can't have support staff. Without a principal, you can't have teachers and you can't have support staff. So the government works in the same way. They need all 3 of each other, and not one is more important than the other. They need one another to function. And the reason that our government was created this way is so it could be equal. And that is something that is called checks and balances. So not one part of the government can have any more power than the other. So this one needs this one, and this one needs this one, and they all need each other. So when we think about them, remember, they are equal in their power. One cannot act without the other. They just serve completely different functions. I do not serve the same function as our custodian, Miss Betsy, but I can't do my job without her. I hold no more power than her, and she holds no more power than me. We need to work hand in hand. So when we think about the government, that is how I want you to think about it. Think about a triangle that is connected. So even though one might be on the top, it cannot be a triangle without the other 2, okay? So think about it that way. When we turn the page in this booklet, and each video or each section is going to be a different video, okay? So the executive branch will get its own video, and the judicial branch will get its own video. And I kind of say judicial a little funny, so let's skip over that. And remember, if I am going too fast, please pause it. It's a little hard for me to gauge while I'm just reading the paper, okay? So if you need to digest it, rewind it, or pause it, okay? And think about it. Another suggestion I have for you guys is to number your paragraphs the same way we do in class. That way when you're looking back for information, you can just say paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, paragraph 4, okay? And listen to this as many times as you need. And I will begin. Legislative branch. The legislative branch is made up of 2 houses of Congress. The first is called the Senate, and the second is called the House of Representatives. The most important duty of the legislative branch is to make our laws. The laws are written, discussed by both bodies, and voted in Congress. So remember, they can't do one without the other. There are 100 senators in the Senate, 2 from each of the states, and we have 50 states, so 50 times 2 is 100. The senators are elected by their own states and serve a 6-year term. The Vice President of the U.S. is the head of the Senate. The Senate approves nominations made by the President up to the Cabinet, the Supreme Court, federal courts, and other important positions. There are 435 representatives in the House of Representatives. The number of representatives in each state gets is based on the population or the number of people that live in that state. So the bigger your state or the more people live in your state, the more representatives you get. Representatives are elected by their states and serve a 2-year term. The Speaker of the House, elected by the representatives, is considered the head of the House. Both groups in the Senate and the House of Representatives elect a leader. The leader of the party that controls the Senate or House of Representatives is called the majority leader. The other party leader is called the minority leader. And we know majority means the larger group and minority means the smaller group. Just like in class, we always vote things on majority rules. That means the most amount of people that voted for something get that spoken to. But that doesn't mean that we forget the minority group, okay? Now we're going to flip the page, and I'm going to read the questions. Now remember, I'm just going to read them. You pause or rewind what you need, okay? Legislative branch. And it says match. So we are going to be matching them. I will read the number with the word, and then I'll read the 4 options, okay? So number 1, legislative branch. Is legislative branch the number of representatives in the House? Is it the head of the Senate? Is it a number of senators? Or is it makes the laws? Which one of those matches best with legislative branch? Number 2, 435. Is 435 the number of representatives in the House? Is 435 the head of the Senate? Is 435 the number of senators? Or is 435 make the laws? And you can kind of think to yourself that some of those don't make sense. So remember, we don't have to guess because you can go back. If you're not sure, eliminate the ones that don't even sound correct to you. Number 3, vice president. Is vice president the number of representatives in the House? Is vice president the head of the Senate? Is vice president the number of senators? Is vice president makes the laws? And number 4, which is 100. Is 100 the number of representatives? Is it the head of the Senate? Is it the number of senators? Or is it makes the laws? Next section. Choose the best answer. The number of representatives each state gets is based on how popular it is, second option, the population of the state, or third option, how nice it is. Question 5. The First Lady is the head of the Senate. Remember, the First Lady is the wife to the president. So is the First Lady the head of Senate? True or false? And this one is a response. It's a written response. That means full sentence. Capital letter at the beginning, punctuation at the end. Why is the legislative branch important? Why do we need it? What function or job do they perform that we need them for? This should take at least 2 sentences. If you need more, you need to write 3, but it should take at least 2, okay? 1 is just not quite enough. The next section of legislative branch, you guys are going to be writing your thoughts, not full sentences, just your ideas that you found. So you're going to list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 facts that you learned about the legislative branch. It could be a big fact or a small fact. It does not matter as long as it has to do with the legislative branch. Remember, you're not guessing at information. You have your text, go back, okay? One of the facts could be how many representatives we have, who's in charge, what is the Speaker of the House, what is Congress? You can list any fact that you have learned. This is going to help you later on. Next, for the legislative branch, you are going to be writing a paragraph with 5 sentences using your thoughts, your bubble thoughts from the previous page, but you're going to be putting it together in a formal paragraph. 5 simple sentences. You already did half of the work. And on the next page, this one's kind of fun. U.S. Congress. You're going to be writing thoughts here. U.S. Congress is, U.S. Congress can, and the U.S. Congress has. And you're going to be basically finishing that sentence. The U.S. Congress is, what is the U.S. Congress? The U.S. Congress can, what can they do? And the U.S. Congress has, what do they have? And this you will be doing in a full sentence. Okay? And that is it for the legislative branch, okay? Remember, the other 2 branches are going to be in 2 separate videos as you need them. Remember, you can pause and rewind me for your speed, okay? Have a great day.